where is left to go once you do a butthole chainsaw? Hey everyone, my name is Gavin and I love horror. After Terrifier 2 shocked the world by becoming a box office success, Terrifier 3 was sure to happen. But when it was announced that it was going to be a Christmas movie, people were a little concerned. But did the new film in horror's hottest series bring us what we asked? Or did Santa give us coal? Let's get into it. Before we get started, would love if you leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. I have a goal of trying to hit 10,000 subs before the end of the year, but I need your help to make that happen. It's a tough goal, it's a huge goal, but anything you can do to help, I would greatly appreciate. I'll answer the big questions that people have had involving kids being in the movie in a bit, but first I want to say that I will be giving some major spoilers for the movie, so this is your spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Terrifier 3 is set 5 years after the events of Terrifier 2, and Sienna has been in and out of mental hospitals after her encounter with the Miles County Clown. She's going to spend the holidays with her aunt, uncle, and cousin Gabby, who are supportive but also a little bit weary of her mental state. You know, the whole taking on an evil clown thing. Jonathan has moved on to college and is trying his best to put everything behind him. But this is a Terrifier movie, so you know that isn't gonna happen. From an art perspective, we pick up in Vicky's cell at the psychiatric hospital after she just gave birth to Art's head through supernatural means. You know, just another day at the psychiatric hospital when a patient gives birth to a clown head, you know, regular stuff. Also, Art's headless body, still back at the Terrifier, kills a cop and makes its way to be reunited with his head. And from there, we get the murder, the mayhem, and violence that you paid to see and hope to not throw up while watching Terrifier 3. What is immediately apparent with Terrifier 3 is how much Damien Leone has grown as a filmmaker throughout this series. 2 was a huge improvement over 1, and 3 is an improvement over 2. He is writing some truly compelling characters in this series and giving them lore, motivations, and he also learned to trim down the runtime from Terrifier 2, which everyone kind of agreed was too long. So thank you for tightening this new movie up. We appreciate it. We got places to be and things to do. One thing that a lot of horror franchises neglect to do is truly show the aftermath of what characters have gone through in previous films. They get over the deaths of their friends, their family members so fast just so we can get to the next kills. It really does a disservice to these characters. That is not the case with Terrifier 3, and what I think is one of the biggest bright spots of the entire film. Lauren Levera is back and she is absolutely putting on a clinic showing how Sienna is dealing with the trauma of losing her friends and her mother. She is crushed by the fact that her actions led to the death of Brooke in Terrifier 2, so much so that she is seeing Brooke's mangled corpse asking for rice at the dinner table. But for real, pass the rice, you're being very rude. I love that the spooky clown movie is exploring mental health, PTSD, and how traumatic events affect different people. Sienna is trying to face it head on, while Jonathan, played once again by friend of the channel Elliot Fulham, is trying to forget it ever happened. Also, this time out, Vicky, played once again by Samantha Scafidi, who Damien Leone has gone on record to say that he regrets not developing enough in the first Terrifier film, is possibly the scariest character in the series after her outing in Terrifier 3. Between her makeup, her voice, and the things that she does in the movie, broken mirror box cutter scene, you will not be forgetting who Vicky is. I also like the addition of Gabby, Sienna's cousin, who is a great support to Sienna. When Gabby becomes endangered later in the movie, you very much care about her. You don't want to see her get killed by any of these villains in the movie in any of these gruesome ways. You want her to survive. Oh, and there's this guy named Art the something or whatever, played by David Howard Thornton, who you also may have heard of. And he is just as violent, mean, and ready to spill all the red stuff. He's funny in this as well, with several scenes that had me laughing out loud before I was screaming in horror at the things I was watching. And also laugh screaming like But let's go ahead and talk about the reason we're all here for Terrifier 3. And let's talk about the gore. The series is known for extreme violence, and the term mega slasher was even used to describe the series at one point, and this film is no different. Going into the film, we all heard about people walking out 10 minutes in, the first 10 minutes being incredibly violent, etc. And yeah, they weren't lying. When your movie opens with the annihilation of a family with an axe, you are setting the bar very high. And the gore has never looked better or worse, or however you want to. It looks nasty. It's nasty. They take their time with everything, and they aren't shy about showing you all the grisly details. Well, with a few exceptions. I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question that everyone has had ever since a little girl appeared in the first teaser for the movie. Is Art the Clown gonna do Art the Clown things to kids? And the answer is no. But also, yes. Yes, Art does take out kids, but you only see the aftermath of it, or it cuts away right as it's about to happen, as seen in the mall scene with like the bomb. It's weirdly tasteful, I guess. I know you shouldn't describe it as tasteful, but it isn't gratuitous like many feared. So yes, he does, but no, it isn't extreme. So if that's gonna bother you, maybe don't see Terrifier 3. You should know what you're getting into with Terrifier 3 at this point. So if you're like, you know what, the kid stuff's where I draw the line. I feel like the line should have been drawn a long time ago for you with this series. But how extreme does it get? How extreme does this one get? Because Terrifier 2 went very extreme, but this time Terrifier 3, we get liquid nitrogen, we get a box cutter, we got guns, knives, rats, and of course, the shower scene that everyone was talking about on Twitter after Fantastic Fest. And I've seen a lot of people criticize Damien Leone for showing extreme violence being done to women by Art the Clown, but never going as far with men. Now, I've personally never agreed with this because I think he cut that dude's wiener off in Terrifier 2. But if you've ever made that argument that he goes too hard on women and not hard enough on men, you can never make that argument again after Terrifier 3 after Dude Butthole Chainsaw. Gorehounds will definitely be satisfied, but I'm a little afraid that we're gonna be getting into like diminishing return territory with all the extreme violence. As in, where is left to go once you do a butthole chainsaw? Is that the magnum anus, the magnum opus of the series? With all of that said, Terrifier 3 does have a few flaws. And I think for me, the biggest criticism is that it lacked the fun of Terrifier 2. While I appreciate the seriousness with the trauma exploration, I also enjoy seeing Art slam mashed potatoes into someone's blown up face. And there's plenty of humor in Terrifier 3, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, it just felt like the charm and the fun was missing at certain times. And I'm also bummed that they killed Jonathan off screen. I get why they did it for narrative reasons, but still, he was a main character and I think he deserved a proper Art the Clown send-off. And then the Christmas theme, I don't know if the Christmas theme completely worked for me. I think it was cool that they tried something new and I enjoyed how they wove it into the story, along with all those great cameos in the bar with all the Santas and stuff. That was really fun, I like that. But I don't know if this is gonna be like a yearly Christmas horror watch or anything like that, because there's like too much lore, it doesn't really stand alone for me. So the Christmas theme didn't really work for me that well, but I give them props for trying something different when they could have just played it safe. And the last thing I'll mention, and this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but rather the experience of seeing Terrifier 3. When Terrifier 2 came out, it was a Fandango event for one night in the smallest theater at my AMC, and it was sold out. You really had to want to be there or know what the hell Terrifier was to even know what was going on. And after Terrifier 2 was over, which was just a great experience all around, after the movie was over, they played a cool interview with Damien and David about the movie. It was an actual event. And this time, it didn't feel like that. And it made me sad. It made me sad that it didn't feel like an event like Terrifier 2 did. It was weird seeing a trailer for like a Timothée Chalamet, Bob Dylan movie before Terrifier. And I am so happy that Terrifier is being seen by so many people and that the creators are making well-deserved money and that so many people love the franchise. But I miss that small feeling of community we had back in 2022. And I can't wait for all the comments calling me a hipster douche gatekeeper or something when I'm just trying to be nice and nostalgic. I just miss 2022. But overall, Terrifier 3 is definitely the best made movie of the franchise, with more fantastic gore, incredible acting, and one of the best horror villains currently in cinema. The new film helps expand the lore while teasing us with what is yet to come, and while the movie isn't perfect and I personally prefer the second film, that doesn't mean this still isn't a great film that I highly recommend to anyone looking for a little bit of art this Halloween. And that's why I'm giving Terrifier 3 a 4 out of 5. But what did you think of the new Terrifier film? Did you think it went too far or not far enough, you sickos? Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, be sure to leave a like for this video and subscribe to the channel. It all helps me out a ton. Until next time, stay weird.